Let's talk about drugstore picks that are just as good as luxury products. I'm talking skincare and makeup. These are my favorites. Now, while there isn't anything groundbreaking about this video, I definitely did get inspired by the title of another YouTuber who did a really similar video about her skincare and I think a bit of makeup. I'll put that video down below if you want to see what she had to say about this same subject. It just wouldn't feel right to make nearly the same video with completely different products, but the same idea without giving her a little bit of credit as well. My name is Helen. I'm a writer. You can sign up for my totally free newsletter where I give out beauty updates and I write humor essays. It's helenavery.substack.com, totally free. And please do drop a like and consider subscribing if you end up enjoying this video. Let's kick things off with one of my favorite. This is a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream, but it's even better. It's unscented. It doesn't feel like glue and it doesn't leave this extremely glossy shine all over. It absorbs really nicely. Dermatologists love it. You can see a lot of different YouTube dermatologists talking this up. I love it too. I've been reviewing and talking about this specific moisturizer for a good 5 years now. The key to getting this on nice, because a lot of people complain it leaves a white cast, is you really have to smooth it on. This is actually even too much what I've put. You just put little dabs on and then you rub them in if you're finding that the absorption is a bit of an issue. Nice and thick, makes a really nice primer base underneath makeup. Better, again, I think, than Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream at a fraction of the cost. This is from La Roche-Posay, Cicapaste Balm B5. The captions never can catch what this is because it's a French product, and of course I'm not pronouncing it perfectly, but I'll drop a link down below to this and all the other products that I mentioned in the description box. Okay, now that moisturizer has absorbed, it's time to talk about Revlon Color Stay Long Wear Makeup. This is, in my mind, maybe even better than Estee Lauder Double Wear. The price is certainly better. This is only $13 at Target, whereas your Estee Lauder Double Wear, do I have it with me? I do. Estee Lauder Double Wear is $49-ish. This one is $13-ish. 43 shades, 55 shades. You do you, but I'm finding this to be completely amazing. I've been using it for years. All of the things I've been using here, I've been using for many, many years. I try not to talk on this channel about products that I don't like. I try not to just try things one time. Like I don't buy foundations or things just for the sake of testing them for this channel. I'm not about that game. I'm about just talking about things that I've loved and are tested, tried, and true to me for years. I think probably minimum 1 year. Double Wear is thicker than this foundation. So I find with this one, what I like to do is use a brush because it has a runnier consistency, which also means it runs out faster. So if you love Double Wear and you're just like, I know it's expensive, but I can't live without it, that's okay too. The cool thing about Double Wear is it lasts much longer. Like there's just a lot more. Because it's thicker, there's actually, I think, more in the bottle overall, or rather there are more uses in the bottle, if that makes sense. But just my tip, if you do love Double Wear and you're finding you're running out quickly, if you're using a brush, try switching to your fingers. You might see how much longer that bottle lasts you. At least that's been my hack. So if you're curious, my long wear shade is Revlon Color Stay 24-hour long wear in shade 220. Yes, 220. This also has a little bit of SPF in it, and you'll even see the active ingredients on here are titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. So those are pretty good sunscreen ingredients for a foundation that is only $13, under $15. Very affordable, very, very nice. This is e.l.f.'s Halo Glow Liquid Filter, and it is a dupe that is just as good as, if not better, I think better if you sort of factor in for the price, than Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless Filter. I've tried them both, and this is not my favorite kind of product because I find that it's overselling what it does. But if this is your jam and you're thinking, should I get the Charlotte Tilbury or should I get the e.l.f.? I would say just get the e.l.f. one. It's a fraction of the price and it does pretty much the same thing. Now for my particular skin, I find that it works as a highlighter. It's nice as a highlighter, and that's about it. It doesn't do the other things that it says it's going to do. In fact, it has a bit of a tendency to settle into my fine lines. And I don't even have that many fine lines. It just highlights lines that I barely knew existed, which is, you know, not the vibe when you're in your 40s, obviously. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry down a bit and put on my eye makeup, and I'll be back in a hot second. I forgot to mention that I have an actual review of Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I will link that up at the end of this video, so you can watch that next if you're curious to see a more in-depth look at why it does and doesn't work for me and what I think about it and why I think it just has too many claims that it can't live up to. Next up, a great dupe for Blink at Sephora's tubing mascara. What tubing mascara is that it creates a little bit of a tube situation around your eyelashes and it doesn't budge until you remove it with warm water and I think even a little bit of soap and those tubes just fall off. They kind of coat your lash on the outside harden up and come off almost like the shell of an ice cream. You know, when you get ice cream dipped in a chocolate shell and the shell hardens around the ice cream cone, I think it's kind of like that. This is number 7 Stay Perfect Long Wear Tubing Mascara. Very hard for me to get here in Canada, but I always pick it up if I'm at Target in the US or at CVS, Walgreens, they have it there. I don't think there are a lot of color choices. This is black. The downside of this is that the tube gets really dirty really quickly. The tube sort of picks up on all the little bits of makeup that might be floating around in your makeup bag, so it looks grimy really quickly, but it is really, really good. It's not the world's best sort of lengthening or thickening mascara, but it really does a nice job. If you just want a little bit of an oomph, this is the one for you. Affordable, works great, and doesn't flake. And I find the Blink one at Sephora, costing maybe 3 times as much, maybe 2 times as much, just isn't nearly as good. I have no idea why they're still selling that product. I do not find it to be any good. This one, by contrast, is one of my favorites. I always pick it up. So this is e.l.f.'s Hydrating Face Primer on the go. And I'm just gonna say about not necessarily this product, but just e.l.f. products in general, have a look for them. Like, watch out for the new things that they release, because I think they've decided to go the route of not inventing their own things so much, but rather also a big part of their new business strategy seems to be copying really like the best of the best TikTok viral, whatever makeups and skincare that are out there and making them at much more affordable prices. So while I'm not necessarily recommending this over like a milk primer, I think that's what it's called. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. While I'm not necessarily recommending this over a high-end primer, this is sort of just a general caveat to have a look at what e.l.f. is putting out there, because a lot of times they're duping the really high-end stuff on the market. Revlon lipsticks, Fire and Ice. This is Love That Red, which is my actual red favorite. You cannot go wrong with a Revlon lipstick. They're affordable and they're just as good as Charlotte Tilbury's, which cost many multiples of the price. Revlon makes some of the best lipsticks out there on the market. And I've been wearing Revlon lipstick for a very long time now, also since the 90s, and they don't miss. The real peril with Revlon products, and as you can see, 2 of my favorites are here, is Revlon itself. Revlon almost went completely bankrupt. It filed for bankruptcy protection. I don't know if you're aware of this, but it exited bankruptcy protection. It's been bought up by one of these firms that just like will shred it to bits. So I don't know. I don't exactly know what's going to happen with the future. They just got an injection of money. They had a whole bunch of debt wiped out. That's really boring. I know that, but let me just tell you, nothing is as good as a Revlon Red, in my opinion. I like to put on a coat and then work in the rest with a brush. I mean, I've owned a Dior red lipstick. I've owned a Chanel red lipstick. Actually, I haven't owned a Charlotte Tilbury red lipstick. That would be a lie. But I just don't think that they do anything that this doesn't. It's comfortable to wear. It's affordable. Can't go wrong. A Revlon lipstick sells, I think, every 9 minutes or something like that. So I don't even know how they went sort of semi-bankrupt or almost bankrupt or whatever you want to call it. To me, that's absolutely ludicrous, because you would think just on the strength of all their sales alone, I mean, just the foundation and the lipstick must be huge profit makers for them. How they could have gone bankrupt, they must have been terribly mismanaged. If you want to see a video on that, maybe we can dig into it. Let me know down below in the comments, if so. Okay, last but not least, this is a bit of a strange one, but we've got Lubriderm missing its label because we tore that off at some point. Lubriderm lotion, this is the unscented one. Oh, the back is still intact. The back label, for normal to dry skin, still a really good moisturizer, especially for your legs. There's no sense using a nice scented product on your legs if you can't even smell it. I mean, I can't, because I live in a very cold climate. In the winter, I'm completely covered up. I've got jeans on that you can't see. This smells amazing. It's fresh milk body lotion. It has a beautiful almond scent, but the consistency is exactly like this Lubriderm. This is like $50-ish. This is like, I don't know, I think $8 is what I paid for it. Cannot go wrong. This should be a staple if you have a situation where you want to moisturize your legs a lot. It's really good. This, by contrast, smells good. I almost wear it like in place of perfume in the really hot, sticky summer months, and only on my arms, because I'm trying to make it stretch, because that's a lot of money for a relatively small amount of lotion. Right, there we are. Those are my drugstore faves. Drop a note below and let me know what your favorite drugstore pick is that's better than something that is luxury. When you leave comments like that, it really helps out future viewers, because this is something we're all interested in, right? Saving money shopping at the drugstore, which is more convenient than trying to hit Sephora or, the department store. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.